Good morning. I'm back at it. Cleaning rocker arms, push rods, and finishing cleaning the heads up. I have to chase threads. As you can see, one of the rocker arm assemblies, this end I've had apart and started to clean up, wire brush all up. That's what they looked like when I took it off. And same with the push rods. You see the rusty one and the one I've already wire brushed up. So I got to keep at cleaning all that stuff up. And now I'm going to show you where I am with the valves. Last year when I started with the valves, I had a friend regrind the valves because my machine doesn't have a big enough chuck to hold these stems. And then I showed you last year I was doing the seats. And I didn't finish them up, I just worked on them enough to see if they would clean up. And yesterday, if you can see this, I tried some lapping compound, and all it did is touch on the very inside edge where this mark is from lapping compound would be right down here on the edge of the seat. So I obviously did not get the valve angle and the seat angle matched, and I'm sure the valve angle they had right at 45. So when I dressed my stone, I figured I must not have got the adjustment exactly right on the stone for dressing the seat angle. I have seen specs on engines where they do call for a 1 degree interference fit, so it touches on the inside edge first. They must figure on it wearing in. But I want to have a nice surface because there is some pinning in my valves and seats, so I have a bigger area where it seats. So now we're going to look at how I had my stone dresser adjusted last year when I dressed the stone before I ground on the seats. So here you can see the 45-degree angle, and you can see I didn't have it quite up to the 45. Well, that was my mistake last year. So I'm going to change this to right dead center on that 45 mark and redress the stone, then regrind the seats, and then try lapping the valve again. So now I have it set, like there's the mark for the 60, now I have it set right in the middle of the mark for the 45. Now I'm going to redress the stone. Come to think of it now, I didn't even dress this stone. I had ordered this stone because I didn't have a big enough one for this. And it came with the, I told them with the 45 on it. And I just used it as it was delivered for the rough cutting of it. Because now I have to slide this, the adjustable tool holder, down on the shaft so I can get enough clearance to dress the stone. So that explains a little bit more, because I've never had it where I didn't hit the angle just right. But then again, it wasn't right in the middle of the 45 either. So I'm going to get this set up to address this stone. I loosened the pinch bolt on the back side, and now I'm moving the tool holder down. And now there will be clearance in here for it so I can redress the stone. Now you can actually hear it and see it. It's not touching on the inner part of the stone, but as it gets farther out on the angle, it's starting to touch. So it wasn't dressed at exactly 45, so now I'm going to redress it. Let's see how it looks. There, now you can see a nice fresh surface on that stone. Now we're going to try regrinding the seat and then see if that angle matches good when I lap it. And this is the pilot to go in the guide, which I didn't have any near big enough. And as I said last year, I had a friend make this split bushing so that when I put it on there and the pilot expands this to get tight in the guide. There. A little lubrication on the pilot. See, now this is a Hall Toledo valve. Well, actually it's a Hall. It's before Hall merged with Toledo or whatever. I had it rebuilt once. It dates back to the early 30s, this seat grinder. It's actually of an eccentric style. You'll notice the stone works its way around the seat instead of one where the stone spins on the pilot itself and just stays centered. This stone slowly works its way around the seat. See, the stone is resting on the seat right now, so first I have to raise it up off the seat. There, now it's not touching the seat. And I'll check it all the way around. Okay, it's not touching. So now I'll start to grinder and slowly lower it. And you can watch it work its way around. Also, this grinder has a spring-loaded handle because the grinder's off to one side. So it hangs weight one way. And you see it's old enough. It has to, so you adjust your spring pressure accordingly. For this, I hold it about to the A and B to counterbalance the weight of the grinder on one side, and there's the one for V8. So this one's old enough. It had to mark an A and B for doing the Ford Model A, and then it had the V8 marking for doing the Ford flathead V8, where you'd be at much more of an angle, so it would put even more pressure sideways on the pilot. So that just indicates how old this machine was, and that they had marked them to show how many, I mean, that kindly is apparent how many Ford products they were grinding the valves on. So we're going to go at redoing the seat. Put the correct side load on it. Start it up. See, it's still not touching all the way around. You could hear from the sound, but you can see here where it's getting a new surface on from what it was. And over here, it's still just touching on the inside and not coming all the way up. So I have to keep grinding until I get a clean surface all the way up here. And you can usually tell by sound when it's making even contact all the way around. So now I'm going to continue grinding the seat. So now I can see a bright surface all the way across the seat. So it's making contact all the way. Now I'm going to try lapping the valve again to see what kind of contact we're making with that. I put some lapping valve on the face of the valve. Now I'm going to lap it. You can hear it cutting. Rotate it. Take it off the seat and rotate it. Take it off the seat and rotate it. Sounding good. Now we're going to take a look at it. When you lift the valve like that, if you hear that sticking by suction, you can figure you have a pretty good seat from the lapping compound holding it. We'll take it, wipe it off and look. Now you can see a dull finish, the full width of the seat. Normally I would narrow the seats, but these I want to have a full wide contact because some of these seats and some of these valves have some pits in them, and if there's a little bit of a pit like there, I want there still to be contact on either side of that pit. So that's why I'm leaving the seats wide. I'm going to say it, and I'll probably say it again, as you've probably seen. This is by far from any means an engine rebuild. This is a doing what needs to be done to get it to run, to make it run again. So that's why you see now, like right there, there's a pit right at the edge of where the valve is seating. There's a little one at the edge here, and that's why I'm leaving a wide seat, so I always get contact somewhere. So, like I said, this is far from a rebuild. This is doing what needs to be done. Because if you would do everything this tractor to make that engine like new, like weld up the crank, have it reground, pour new Babbitt bearings and rods and mains, cut in new seats, have new valves made, because I don't think you'd be able to find any anywhere. I found one used one I needed, and the man was reluctant to sell it to me. You would have the kind of receipts that you'd have to take a second mortgage out on the house for that type of rebuild. This is a do what has to be done with what you have to make it run again. So thanks again for watching. I'm going to keep at cleaning these heads up, chasing threads.